But wait, not so fast. That's not where this story starts. It actually started 2 full years earlier. Elvie and I were at our nephew Eduardo's soccer game. I came across an advertisement with CGI animation of the newest and largest cruise ship ever. I showed it to Elvia just because I thought it was something cool. Then she fell in love with going on this gigantic ship, and her wheels started turning, and before you know it, she had me convinced as well. So that was it. We were going to do this. We were going to travel on the largest cruise ship in the world. She got all the necessary information and put down our deposit. Soon the group started to grow. First Frankie and Addie, then soon my parents were also going. Now it was going to be 6 of us. This is going to be a great trip. Everyone is so excited and can't wait for the date to get here. People are on YouTube checking out all the videos that previous guests have put up to get a glimpse of what to expect. Just like this video here from the cruise world. It's starting to get close now, just 2 weeks away from our magical family cruise experience. Now what? Looks like someone has other plans. The cruise is canceled. On my last day of work, I get a call from a distraught Elvia, telling me that the cruise has been canceled. It sure was. Canceled just like that. Literally less than 1 week before we were planned to set sail. I'm not going to lie. It hurt a bit. For me though, the part that hurt the most was seeing the sadness in Elvia's eyes. This cruise that she had been planning for more than 2 years had just been canceled. So I did everything that I could think of to get the trip scheduled again, which was a bit tricky since it was going to have to be right away. Elvia and I were set to travel to Japan in mid-January, and here it was the very end of September. After many calls with the cruise line and talking to our party, we found a new date and got started rebooking the trip. With how airfares were refunded and Elvia and I's departure to Mexico coming up in just 2 weeks, this became a bit more complicated. Now Mom and Dad were going to be flying on one airline from Chicago to Miami, but I had to book Frankie and Addie on a different airline to use up a refund credit issue, and their flight would take them to Fort Lauderdale. Not to mention, Elvia and I were going to have to catch a bus to Mexico City and then fly to Miami from there. What a nightmare this was turning into. But in the end, it actually worked out better than originally planned in a few ways. Because of the original date being canceled due to mechanical issues, we were given a future cruise credit. Now prices are higher now than they were when we originally booked the cruise, so we didn't end up with a free cruise, but it did end up being just enough to offset the extra cost of Elvia and I needing to book more expensive travel from Mexico to Miami. And did I forget to mention one other thing? We were wanting to surprise some friends of ours and take their 2 girls with us on the trip. But when we checked into adding them to our original booking, it was going to cost over $21,000 additional dollars. But after rebooking on the new dates, there were other room options available that allowed us to add the girls at a much lower cost. Actually, when we added everything up, including the girls' airfare, it was nearly a complete wash. I don't know how you can look at events unfolding like this and not see a higher power at work. Oh, and did I forget to mention the hurricane? Yeah, that's right. That is the same week that Hurricane Helene was going through the area, and it would have been likely to impact our flights and the weather while on the cruise ship. I guess it all worked out for the best. All right, let's get back to the travel. So Elvie and I boarded a bus on our way to Mexico City. Okay, so we're settling in on our long bus ride to Mexico City. Big chairs. What do you think, Elvia?
I like it.
You like it?
I do.
This is, I almost rather go like 3 times as long in something like this than an airplane, huh?
Especially with the leg room.
Right, yeah, this is nice. It was a long trip, and even though there was lots of leg room, there were so many speed bumps and turns that it wasn't a super smooth ride. But before we knew it, we were pulling into Mexico City. As you may have guessed, it was a pretty large bus station. Here is a quick look at the inside. It's been quite a long day. Now it was time to find a taxi and get headed toward our Airbnb. It seemed to be nestled in the middle of this big, giant concrete jungle. I sure am glad that we got a room on the ground floor. Those stairs looked like trouble with a suitcase. It actually was not bad inside. The bathroom was quite small, but had everything we need for a single overnight. After dropping off our stuff, it was time to go out and grab some dinner, then head to bed and get ready for our next big day. Getting up early and finding our way to the airport to fly to Miami. We didn't have to wait too long for our Uber to show up. And look, Miami even has a Texas Roadhouse, Elvia's favorite.
Elvia hasn't seen a Texas Roadhouse in almost 2 months.
Yeah.
You should have seen her face light up when we pulled in the parking lot. We're gonna watch for the first bite of the roll here.
It's good.
Okay, we're in Miami. Now where is everybody else? Well, they were getting in the car and headed towards Chicago to catch their 7 p.m. flight down to Miami. It took some planning, but we all got reunited in Miami. There we are, all 8 of us, ready for the cruise of our lives. There was no shortage of places to eat on the boat. We even had some snacks before dinner that night. Here's a quick time lapse of our boat navigating itself away from the pier, getting ready for our big sailing adventure. Here we are on our first night at the formal dining area. All 8 of us together. We had a couple of really great waiters. This gentleman's name is Drew, and he was showing Rhea how to make a rose out of a napkin. There she goes, she's getting the hang of it. Now, no napkin is safe. Well, remember those balloons from earlier? They're about to be dropped from the ceiling so that we can all stomp and pop them. This is our welcome to the cruise party where they're going to drop all balloons down to the ground and we're going to try to keep them in the air, and most people will just spend time popping them.
5, girls! 4, 3, 2, 1,
Well, that was a good day 1, ending out with a bang with the balloon drop party. Now it's time to go to bed, see what tomorrow will bring.